Hello, welcome back all my Sherbears. Today's video is the perfect palette tag. I actually got inspiration to do this from Kimberly Dieter, Bear Beauty 13. She had just done it, so I thought, what the heck, I'll do it. I have enough palettes. I have more than enough palettes. It's more a problem of picking out what palettes you want to talk about. So there are 8 questions, and I will leave them listed in my description box below so that if you choose to do this tag, you can. So the first question was best packaging. Okay, when I think best packaging, I think what is the most unusual in my collection, and I do have a few that are quite unusual, quite beautiful, but I chose the Alice Through the Looking Glass from Urban Decay just because it is so unusual. So it's got the mirror, and inside it has a saying that says, "I'm not strange, weird, off, nor crazy. My reality is just different from yours." And on the mirror it says, "We're all mad in here." And then you open up that and it has beautiful butterfly. So I would say this is the best packaging. All the eyeshadows are in a drawer on the bottom. So best packaging goes to Urban Decay's Alice Through the Looking Glass. Best color payoff. This was a difficult one for me to decide on, but I eventually went with the Makeup Geek Manny MUA. This is the only way I could get Makeup Geek in here, because if you know me, you know that I'm just a Makeup Geek fanatic. But the color payoff on Makeup Geek eyeshadows is like one swatch. It's just so phenomenal. I will do a couple here that are like my favorites. This bottom row here is, look at that. There is no way that you can't get a good amount of color from these. The color payoff on these is phenomenal. And it's not just this palette, it's all Makeup Geek. She does have a few that aren't the greatest, but usually when she finds that something isn't working out, she goes back and reformulates it and makes it work out. But that's how good the color payoff is. It doesn't want to come off. Next question was, which is the most versatile? For versatile, I have to go with the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbon palette. Just because, one, it smells great, but because it has all these colors. Like, it's not just neutrals. You have some pinks, you have some greens, you have some purples. It's not just a neutral palette, so you could do a more colorful look with this palette. That's the reason why I chose this one. Next one was best for traveling, and my go-to for traveling is usually this one, just because it's tough as nails. I really have to work to get into this one, and it's the Naked 3 palette. I do not own the Naked 1 palette. Not that I wouldn't. I've actually thought quite a few times, but I tend to gravitate more to the pinker colors, And this one is just perfect because I can do a more dramatic look, or I can do just an everyday easygoing look with this palette. And it's sturdy, like you can drop it. I mean, a chocolate bar palette probably would work too, but I don't know. I tend to gravitate towards the Naked 3 for that. Biggest regret. This is the Quo Deluxe Portfolio, and I have to say the hardest part about saying this is a regret is that this has all these eyeshadows, and there's only a few that have any payoff, and they tend to not work as well as a lot of others. And this wasn't like an inexpensive palette. This was a fairly expensive palette. The reason why I don't want to call it a regret is because the powders in here are wonderful. They're highly pigmented. They work great. They're not dry. The eyeshadows seem to be a bit dry and powdery. And also there's like the lipsticks and the lip glosses are nice. And the cream eyeliners are really nice. It's all dependent on the eyeshadows, which is why I say this is probably my biggest regret. I do use it. I just don't find myself reaching for it as often as some of my other palettes. Best color names. Okay, so this one, I mean, I could go back to my Alice in the Looking Glass one because they have some great names, but I'm going to go with my Sephora Mini palette just because I really like the names in here. So there's like Hello Mickey, which is this color, and I'm All Ears, which is the black, and Girlish Appeal, which is the purple. They're all really, really good names. The yellow color is Big Shoes to Fill. And there's also Some Like It Dot. So this is a great palette. I actually have used this quite a few times. It has some great colors and it lasts all day. And you could also pop out the insert and use this as a clutch. I'm not going to do that because I'd never walk around with this, but it's a cute idea. I'm running out of room here. Least used. Okay. This, I almost chose this as my best packaging because I love the design on this. I don't use it as often as I should, and this is the Urban Decay Vice. I think the reason why I don't reach for it as often is because there is only 1, 2, 3, 4 matte shadows in here. So there isn't a lot of choice for matte, which means I'm pulling from my singles, which I really don't have a problem with that, but I think that if I'm in a rush, that's why I'm not. It's not to say that these aren't highly pigmented. Like, look at that green. I love that green. Or that green. But because they're all shimmery. And I think I've seen that a lot with their limited edition palettes. That they're a lot of glitter. Or a lot of shimmer, not glitter necessarily. But it's definitely my least used because I have to pull from other places. Most loved, would want to be deserted on a desert island with this palette, is my Tartelets in Bloom. If I don't know what to do with my eyes, this is the palette I reach for. They're pigmented, there's shimmer, it's neutral. You could do a lot with this palette and it lasts all day. I don't have any other Tarte eyeshadows, just these ones. And if I was to base my purchasing of future Tarte shadows on this, I would definitely repurchase Tarte products. So that's everything in this best palette, eye palette ever tag. If you would like to do this tag, please do. Tag me or tell me so I can go watch your tag. I love watching tags. The blush tag, eye tags, whatever. I love watching tags. So I hope you have a great day, and please subscribe below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.